draw game. PSV versus Arsenal. 2-1 PSV. Okay, that's interesting. Not Bayern Munich. Benfica versus Real Sociedad. This game ends 1-1 as Benfica miss a penalty. Fernandez. Manchester United, Bayern Munich. This should be a good game, but Bayern Munich will probably win it. Yes, they do. 2-0. 2-0. Davies and Mane with the goals there. Arsenal, Sevilla. This could end up being a good game as well. It's a 2-1 win for Arsenal. Okay, close. Real Madrid, Napoli. The group stage is almost over. Almost at the round of 16. And Real Madrid win that 4-0. Benfica, Inter Milan. Here we go. Benfica draw with Inter Milan 1-1. Atletico Madrid, Feyenoord. This game ends 3-1. Griezmann hat-trick. Okay. Dortmund versus PSG. Final game of this group stage. What is the result going to be? It's a 2-1 win. Neymar on the double. Neymar's flying ahead 8 goals to Benzema's 5. Leipzig versus Manchester City. Again, nobody knows what's going to happen here. It is a 1-1 draw. Okay, Porto, Barcelona. It's just coming towards the start of the round of 16. Barcelona draw with Porto. Interesting. And here we are. We are about to go into the round of 16. So, just waiting for it to load. Okay, let's see those group standings. The group stage, Bayern Munich and Manchester United make it out. Arsenal and Sevilla make it out. Real Madrid and Napoli make it out. Benfica do not make it out, but Real Sociedad and Inter Milan do. Atletico Madrid and Lazio make it out of their group. PSG and Newcastle. Wow, Newcastle, wow. Manchester City and RB Leipzig and Porto and Barcelona. And the round of 16 draw is Manchester United, Porto, PSG, Sevilla, Manchester City, Real Sociedad, Napoli, Arsenal, Newcastle versus Bayern Munich, Lazio versus Real Madrid, Barcelona versus Inter, and Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid. None of my guys are playing each other, and so far for the Golden Boot, it's Neymar with 8 goals. And the first game is Sevilla home to PSG. And it's a Sevilla win! As Gay gets sent off. Okay, Real Sociedad versus Manchester City. This game ends 3-0 to Manchester City. Not surprising. Napoli versus Arsenal. This should be a really good game. 1-1. Okay. The next game is Newcastle versus Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich should probably win this, but Newcastle had a good run in the group stage there. 2-0 as Davies gets sent off. Lazio versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid should easily win this. There's no way that they lose this game. And the game ends 0-0. Casemiro with the red card. Barcelona and Inter Milan. Here we go. Good game. It's a draw as Lewandowski missed a penalty in the 87th minute for what would be a winner. Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid. Good game here. And the winner is, in fact, Leipzig. And here we go, advancing to the second round. We have Man City versus Real Sociedad again here. If Real Sociedad win this 4-0, they're through, which they don't. Grealish with 2 goals there. And then we have Arsenal versus Napoli. Here we go. Arsenal-Napoli ends up as a 2-1 win for Napoli. Napoli are through, Arsenal are out. PSG-Sevilla, this should be a really good game. 3-0, Neymar hat-trick. Neymar with all these goals. 11 goals. Inter Milan versus Barcelona. This game ends up... Oh, 0-0 goes to penalties. PK gets sent off. 4-3 on penalties to Inter Milan. Our first game that went to penalties. Atletico Madrid versus Leipzig. Oh, a penalty shootout. 2-2 this game ends. Leipzig are 3, I'm pretty sure. Bayern Munich versus Newcastle. Who's going to win this game? It will be Bayern Munich. 4-1 as Pope gets a bad injury and has to come off. Real Madrid versus Lazio. Probably a Real Madrid win. 3-1 to Real Madrid. And here we go. A few teams have gone out. Let's see. In the quarterfinals, we had 5-4 win on penalties to Porto. 3-1 win on aggregate PSG. 5-0 on aggregate against Real Sociedad. Manchester City won that. Napoli win 3-2 against Arsenal on aggregate. 4-3 against Newcastle for Bayern Munich on aggregate. Lazio lose 3-1 on aggregate against Real Madrid. 0-0 Barcelona Inter Milan, and the game ends 4-3 on penalties to Inter Milan. 4-3 Leipzig have just won that game. And the quarterfinals, these should be good. Manchester City versus Inter Milan, Real Madrid versus PSG, Napoli versus RB Leipzig, and Bayern Munich versus Porto. That is interesting. None of my teams are playing each other again. Will any of our teams make it to the final? This was the final of the 22-23 Champions League, and Manchester City win 2-1 as Barella gets sent off. But this is the 23-24 Champions League, and Real Madrid versus PSG. That ends 2-1 to Real Madrid. Bayern Munich versus Porto. This game will end 1-0 to Porto. That is very interesting. Porto versus Bayern Munich again. Here we go. 4-3 on penalties. Bayern Munich just snatched that 2-1 win. Mane on the double. Porto scoring the 80th minute just to be sure to make it go to penalties, and it ends 4-3. Wow. Manchester City, Inter Milan. Inter Milan need to win this game to go through, and it ends 4-0 to Manchester City. Haaland on the double, Mahrez and Walker, they all score. PSG versus Real Madrid. This is probably the most intense game in the quarterfinals. It ends 1-1. Can't remember who won the first leg. PSG are out. Okay, so it is Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich and Manchester City versus RB Leipzig. I think Bayern Munich are my team. Yeah, they are. But they've had to play Real Madrid. So 3 of my teams have made it to the semi-finals, which means 2 of them well, at least 1 of them will make it to the final. And Bayern Munich or Real Madrid will be making it to the final as one of my teams. Leipzig versus City. This was a group stage game, and now it is a semi-final game. And oh my goodness! Nkunku scores, and then they give away a penalty to Manchester City. And Manchester City missed that penalty. De Bruyne misses it. And Leipzig are 1-0 up in the first leg. This is crazy. Could Leipzig knock out the champions? If City don't win this by 2 goals, they win 3-1. I think that means that they're through. Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. This game ends up a 1-0 win for Real Madrid, which means one thing. It is a Manchester City Real Madrid final. This will be insane. Who is ready for the final? Oh my goodness, who is going to win the Champions League? Will it be Real Madrid's 15th or Manchester City's 2nd in a row? Well, it's 0-0 so far. Carvajal gets a yellow card. Still no goals. Nothing's happening. Rudiger gets a yellow card. It's halftime. Second half starts. Some substitutes are being made. Oh, an injury for Alaba. Could that be big? 80 minutes in, and Cruz scores a goal! Cruz scores the winning goal in the 82nd minute to win Real Madrid the Champions League! Oh my goodness, that is crazy. The Golden Boot goes to Neymar. Oh my gosh. Most assists goes to Mane. Most clean sheets goes to Courtois. And the most yellow cards goes to João Cancelo. Most red cards goes to Piqué at Barcelona. And there we are. That is crazy. They win their... Oh my, they win! Real Madrid win their 15th. Their 15th Champions League. That is the video over. Real Madrid are winning the Champions League. 23-24 season for their 15th.